Now, it has been some time since the official reveal of the first phase characters in 1.3 being the Shorekeeper and Youhu, but there is still no sign of the 5-star character dropping in the second phase. With the characters from 1.1 and 1.2, both limited 5 stars were drip marketed the same day, so given it's been this long without any sign of the second limited 5-star character, it would be fair to assume we may not be receiving a new 5-star character for the second phase, but a rerun banner instead. Also, I have heard the rumors mentioning a rerun banner possibly dropping in 1.3, and it's starting to become more likely now since there's no additional drip marketing. So with that, the character rerun would be either Jiyan or Yinlin, but since I've been seeing mixed opinions on it being one or the other, I'm gonna go over the value of both characters in 1.3 and whether they would still be worth summoning for. Also, the value of rerun banners potentially being significantly better for free-to-play in WutheringWaves than some other gacha games. Just before we jump into it, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Now, nothing is confirmed in regards to how rerun banners will work in WutheringWaves since we haven't had one yet. However, since there's no news on the second character for 1.3, it means the rerun banner would likely be the only banner up during the second phase. So unlike other gacha games like HonkaiStarRail, where they would usually have a rerun banner alongside a new character, it would be much better for free-to-play in WutheringWaves to pick up rerun characters since there isn't the pressure of having to summon for 2 characters at the same time, which most of the time leads to players skipping rerun banners since the newer characters are usually better. So I do hope that rerun banners are standalones and they continue to be for a while at least, since it would just make it a much better experience and for the idea of skipping characters to pick them up on rerun banners much more realistic. Now, since Jiyan was the first exclusive character to drop in WutheringWaves, I personally believe the first rerun banner that drops would feature Jiyan, as it would just make sense. As of now, Jiyan is easily considered to be in the top 3 or even the second best main DPS character in the game, which I do expect to remain the same in 1.3, since the only new main DPS character that would have released by then would be Changli, which I do expect to be a great character and would likely be a much better Electro DPS character than Calcharo, but a better DPS than Jiyan is a bit of a stretch. Changli may possibly deal more damage than Jiyan, but the comfortability Jiyan provides as a DPS character is second to none. Once Jiyan pops his Resonance Liberation, he becomes one of the easiest DPS characters to play with since all you would need to do is spam his basic attacks, which is able to pull enemies together to deal damage more efficiently and also allows parrying attacks to be much easier due to how quick his attacks are during his liberation. So even though Jinji has power crept to Jiyan as she just deals a ton more damage, the comfortability Jiyan provides would be a major factor to consider, as some players that aren't the best at parrying and just want to scale down the difficulty would be better off playing with Jiyan. That being said, this would only be when he activates the liberation, so he is heavily reliant on his liberation to deal his high damage potential, which is the only downside to his kit. Aside from that, he is a great DPS character that is able to easily clear majority of content in the game. But just note, due to his role as a main DPS character, Jiyan will be more susceptible to power creep, since main DPS characters just have the least longevity in general. So it would be fair to expect more limited main DPS characters to drop and deal much more damage than Jiyan. However, his unique liberation and the comfortability it provides would still allow him to remain as a valuable DPS character overall. So if you value the comfortability Jiyan provides, he would still be a great character to pick up in 1.3. But if you value dealing more damage, there will definitely be more DPS characters that drop you would be better off aiming to pick up instead. Now, as much as I believe the first rerun banner will feature Jiyan, there's a chance it will be Yinlin instead. Yinlin is in a very different position to Jiyan since she is a sub DPS character and still remains to be the best sub DPS character overall in the game. The ability to deal electro coordinated attacks through her Forte circuit for up to 18 seconds is a massive aspect of her kit, since it allows her to deal good damage off field and for main DPS characters to remain on field for as long as they desire. However, Yinlin is also great in quick swapping teams such as with Changli, as Yinlin can swap in and deal great burst damage whilst Changli's resonant skills are on cooldown. So you would have the option of providing the main DPS character with long periods of field time or small periods of field time, which goes to show the sort of flexibility Yinlin provides in team building. Additionally, Yinlin's outro skill is possibly the best outro skill in the game, which Changli does have the fusion variation of. The outro skill is able to provide an increase in electro damage by 20% and resonance liberation damage by 25%. Now this outro skill alone is able to future-proof Yinlin, as she would be the best in slot sub DPS character for many future Electro main DPS characters, just as she will be with Zhang Liao, as he will be a liberation focused Electro DPS character. Even if future Electro DPS characters aren't liberation focused, most DPS characters in general would definitely benefit from a liberation damage boost. Also, the outro skill can be utilized by non-Electro characters that are liberation focused, such as Havoc Rover, so Yinlin would be able to enhance Havoc Rover's strongest ability to deal even more damage, which shows Yinlin is extremely flexible even outside of Electro teams. Now another sub DPS character that will be dropping in 1.2 will be Baizhi, and from what I can assume, will also be able to deal coordinated attacks and will be able to buff resonant skill damage through her outro skill. So unless Baizhi ends up obtaining the Glacier variation of Yinlin's outro skill, I believe Yinlin might still be a better sub DPS character, since a resonant skill damage boost would be amazing for some characters such as Jinxin and Changli, but is more niche compared to a resonance liberation damage boost. However, Baizhi might have much more utility that will be revealed in 1.2, but due to the lack of solid sub DPS options, Yinlin would still hold a ton of value, as Yinlin is just a great universal sub DPS character and is needed on many teams in the game. So if you are a player that uses multiple teams in Tower of Adversity that would need Yinlin, pulling for both Baizhi and Yinlin would be ideal. So with that, Yinlin would still hold her value in 1.3, and if she is featured on a rerun banner, picking her up would massively benefit your account. Also, it's Yinlin, who wouldn't want to pick her up after seeing her ultimate animation? So both Jiyan and Yinlin would be great characters to pick up in 1.3. However, Yinlin would have much more value since she is a sub DPS character with an outro skill that future-proofs her. Also, she has much more team flexibility since you can slot her into many team compositions. So there's even more value in picking up Yinlin than Jiyan. With Jiyan, it really does come down to if your account needs a main DPS character and your preference, since if you value his comfortability, he would be worth picking up. Or if you value more damage, it would be best to save for another character or even Jinxi's rerun if you don't have her. Now just in regards to their signature weapons, both Yinlin and Jiyan's weapons are insanely valuable, so I would definitely recommend picking them up. Main DPS characters tend to obtain a massive boost in DPS with their signature weapons, meaning Jiyan's weapon would near enough be a must pull if you have him, especially since he scales on heavy attack damage bonus, which is extremely niche. So obtaining a 48% heavy attack damage bonus along with a crit damage main stat with his signature weapon would be very difficult to pass up on. Also, due to the crit damage main stat, many Broadblade characters would definitely benefit from it as well, so you can switch the weapon onto them when you need. With Yinlin's signature weapon, it wouldn't be as necessary as Jiyan's, but since it provides a massive 36% crit rate boost from the main stat, along with enhancing Yinlin's damage on field and off field, it would be an extremely valuable weapon too. Also, since Yinlin would be one of the longer lasting characters in the game, you would be getting more value for your Ashtrites if you were to pick this weapon up. So I would recommend picking up the weapons as they both hold enormous value for themselves and other characters. Now comparing both Yinlin and Jiyan to the Shorekeeper is a different story, since the Shorekeeper is likely going to be our first exclusive support character and may potentially be much better than Verina. Fortunately enough, the Shorekeeper will be dropping first in 1.3, and so if the Shorekeeper does end up becoming a Spectra support character, she will be a must-summon character for every player, since we are lacking on characters in the support role the most. So automatically, it means the Shorekeeper will hold the most value, as support characters tend to hold the most longevity in gacha games in general. So essentially, you need to ensure you pick up the Shorekeeper, and then when either Yinlin or Jiyan drops, I would definitely recommend picking up Yinlin since she will maintain her value for a while. But with Jiyan, again, it's completely down to your preference. Overall, rerun banners do seem a bit early to be dropping in 1.3, but it's really down to the devs. As a Hoyoverse player, I would have expected reruns to start dropping around 1.5, but for PGR players, this might have been expected. Either way, I do hope that we can have rerun banners as standalone banners for a while at least, since it would make rerun banners actually something to look forward to, rather than induce more stress when you see a character you want coming back with a new character you also want. I do understand some players may prefer double banners so the game can progress progress more quickly. But if the devs do want to do their best to cater towards the free-to-play, which is majority of the player base, I believe Rerun Banners would be better received as standalones. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also drop a comment down below on who do you think will be dropping in the second phase of 1.3, and whether you would prefer double banners or for Rerun Banners to drop by themselves. And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.